Welcome to this podcast, a safe space to help you let go what is no longer serving you and let's go into action. I am Liliana, your host, and I am a Thanatologist, that is Death, Loss, and Bereavement Studies, and a bioenergy healer practitioner. I help women to heal silent losses that they have not recognized as such and to emotionally and energetically align them with their higher call, with their vision. In this podcast, I will be interviewing women coaches, holistic practitioners, entrepreneurs, women of wisdom that can share with us valuable insights and personal experiences to inspire you and support you into becoming the woman that you are meant to be. Please subscribe to this channel so you can join me in the next episode, and let's move to the conversation. Hello, everyone. Today in this podcast, we have as a guest Lillian Ramsden. Lillian, so happy to see you today. How are you?
I'm great, Liliana. Thanks so much for your invitation. It's so great to be here with you and your listeners.
Yes, thank you for accepting. So let's go straight to the conversation because why wait, right?
Yes, yes.
With weather and pleasantries. Let's move aside. And now, can you please tell us in your own words, what is it that you have as a practice?
I am a productivity coach and I help hardworking coaches and other professional women um, go from scattered effort to steady, sustainable progress. So I really help them look at their time and energy to make sure that that helps support the business and the life that they're wanting to build for themselves.
Oh, that's very interesting. I
Yeah.
like that because I think well, so some of us need a bit of organization and some of us
Uh-huh.
need a little bit less of organization
Exactly.
because
Yes, yes, you're
yeah,
right. You're right.
yeah, because sometimes we get tangled into the everything has to be very organized and then we don't do
Exactly.
anything. Yes.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. That is a very familiar loop I went through myself and the
Mm.
clients that I work with. I always say I am my first client. My services were developed because I needed that support. I wish that
Mm-hmm.
there would have been someone like me back when I
Yeah.
saw myself struggling. But
Uh-huh.
yes, that absolutely that loop between doing and wanting to do and
Mm-hmm.
then seeing it's not translating into anything, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have a lot to
Yes.
show for it, but there's nothing, I've not reached the goals that I wanted for myself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I understand that. Before I ask you more questions about that, because it's very interesting, I just wanted to touch in the something that you said that you were your first client,
Yes.
and I totally get that because I was my first client. I got into these practices because I wanted to heal myself or very
Yes.
specific symptoms and craziness in my head or whatever, right? And I
Mm.
think that is a very valuable way to become a coach, a practitioner, or whatever is it that you're doing, because whatever you trying to share with people is something that you already went through.
Yes.
And it's not like it's not something that you just learn or somebody told me. It's like, no, it took me time, effort, money,
Yes.
and tears,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. The blood, sweat, the tears, my silver gray
Like
hair,
I
I'm
said.
sure is part of that. So yes, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, it's a crazy journey, but it's a very nice one. So, in this podcast, the first interviews were to support coaches that want to be coaches, and that's what you're doing. But we're going to
Yes,
expand it a bit more for our listeners because we have women that they don't want to have a practice, but they still want to have organization in their life
absolutely.
for
Sure,
anything
sure.
you need, right? So,
Yes.
would you mind telling us a little golden nugget of how our listeners and myself can improve whatever we're standing on?
Yeah, absolutely. What I see a lot with my clients, and I've worked with other professional women besides just coaches. That's just my recent focus, is that sometimes, and just really like we talked about earlier, that sometimes so much of our time and energy goes into doing and then we can get so overwhelmed by doing so much that then we just want to throw up our hands and be like, I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna
Yeah.
read my book, I'm gonna watch my TV, I'm gonna do, whatever it is that fills you up, but you still have this little black cloud hanging over you that not only has the to-do list that you're ignoring or neglecting, but also the shame, the embarrassment, the
Mm-hmm.
the self-judgment that comes along with, oh, I'm doing this, but I should be doing that. Or
Mm-hmm.
the reason I'm not doing that is because I am not sure what to do, so I think a little less of myself. So it's not just the action items, but also kind of the feelings attached to those things.
Oh, that is big. What you're touching
Yes.
is big because the guilt is I find an emotion that
Yes.
we're all feeling. However, it's so undercurrent, it's a
Exactly.
undercurrent river that nobody
Exactly.
knows is there
That's
until you
exactly
start
right. Yeah.
until you start digging, right? And then it's
That's
like, oh,
exactly
I'm
right.
actually feeling guilty for not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You
Yeah,
find
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I would say for your listeners who might be like, "What do you mean I'm feeling guilty or embarrassed about whatever?" They might not even realize that yet,
Mm-hmm.
is to just do kind of a quick audit so for example, let's say they love to read, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is what is it about reading that you love? And we may have, a long list of things of why, it's a world that's not what we're living in. But then really think about it. Well, is it because it takes me away from the world that we're living in? Am I
Mm-hmm.
am I escaping into that? Or is it truly bringing me pleasure and recharging me? And after I finish, I'm like, okay, let's do this. But
Yeah.
it's starting to kind of notice with not even changing anything, but just starting to notice what are things that really truly charge us up, and
Mm-hmm.
what are those things that so I often say, what charges our battery?
Mm-hmm.
Also, what are the things that drain our battery? Right. So for those of us who are in business for ourselves, um, we so many of my folks have said, "Oh my gosh, the invoicing, the budgeting, right? It's the financial piece that they want to
Yes.
work with their clients. They don't want to have to deal with all of this." So that's the type of thing to look at. What is it that drains your battery? What is it that
Mm-hmm.
charges your battery? And then just start noticing those changes, and eventually you get to why you're feeling a certain way about those things. But at first,
Mm-hmm.
it's just identifying which ones are which, and
Yes,
then
and I think it has to be with balance, right?
of
The, the
course,
the balance is like, yes, I love to be with my client, giving my service, whatever, but administration has to happen, right? And social
exactly.
media has to happen, and editing and all so many aspects, right? And some may be favorites, some maybe not. But but once we see it as a whole and balancing where our battery is here and here and here, we
Yes,
can actually be more productive and less procrastinating, right?
yes,
Because I think
yes.
procrastinating is a big word in here.
It absolutely is, and I think procrastination can really mean a lot of different things. There is the type that means you're not doing anything. You're putting off doing anything
Mhm,
because you're frozen, you're stuck. But
mhm.
then there's also procrastinating, you know, uh, working on your Canva graphics for the 37th time instead
Oh,
of instead of
that's right.
actually instead of actually publishing the post. Right? So
Yes.
technically we're procrastinating on posting it,
Mhm.
but it looks like we're busy because we're working on it.
Oh,
So
that's very interesting. So, my question here is, do you think that type of procrastination is linked to the sense that this that perfectionism.
That's for a lot of us it is. Yeah. Is that
Oh.
we feel I joke sometimes that we feel like the our choice in font is going to change somebody's life. And I'm sure a graphic designer might think, yeah, it does. Okay, but most of us are small business owners, and it's more important for us to get our message out to those folks who are waiting to hear,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just like I said earlier, I wish that there was somebody like me back when I
Mm-hmm.
kind of started this journey for myself. And
Yes.
if that person is not getting their message out to those folks
Mm-hmm.
that are waiting for them, that's a disservice to those potential clients out there.
Yes. Yes, and actually, well, this trying to be perfect in whatever we want to do, if we start digging a bit, it also could come from I don't feel good enough. That's why my product has to be perfect, right? So what's
Exactly. Yeah.
inside that is making you not feeling good enough, knowledgeable enough, creative enough, whatever is it, eloquent,
Yeah.
whatever is it, that is actually stalling you to from doing anything. So that's where we actually have to tackle that. Why aren't
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
feeling good enough?
Exactly. And that is sometimes hard to do on our own. I know for myself, it was when I got coached and I had a coach to lead me through that process, then I realized like, oh, okay, that's why I do that. Okay. I was now aware. I could identify when it was happening
Mm-hmm.
and be able to say, yep, you know, thanks brain for telling me that I want to stay safe here and but I want to do this thing and this is more
Mm-hmm.
important to me, even if it's
Okay.
not perfect. So,
Okay, very good. And now,
yeah.
since we're in the topic, why don't you share with us what is some things that emotions or yeah, situations you had to let go of so that you can be in this position now?
Absolutely. There were two big things that I had to let go of. One, I was in my previous career for nearly 25 years. At the time, that was about half of my life because I started really young with that company.
Mhm.
And letting go of the weight of pleasing my coworkers, pleasing my employer, and trying to be perfect for them. Kind of this. I wanted to do well, and I did do well, but I still had this weight of performing, right? Of
Mhm.
pleasing them, doing to um, well above and beyond what I needed to be, like you said, enough to just do a
Mm.
good job, right? I felt that
Yeah.
I had to exceed expectations in every single area. So when I began to let go of that need, that
Mhm.
was a big thing. And then um, through my coaching training, that's when and receiving coaching,
Mhm.
realizing, oh, there was a reason why I felt obligated to do that
Mhm.
because of some of the things that you've mentioned. Am I enough? Do I have to prove myself to others? Right? There's all those things that I that those the voices in my head that were so noisy, but I didn't even realize that they were there. And once I was aware, then I could be like I said earlier, oh my gosh. Yeah. So
Yes.
reducing that noise, being
Yes.
aware of it and not just pushing it down, but learning how to reduce that noise. So it was letting go of that sort of performance and also really being okay to release these
Yes.
voices that were telling me I wasn't enough.
Yeah, those voices are quite something because, as you said, you were not aware that you had them there until you notice it. But
Yeah.
also, it's not that we have to see hear what voices are there. We have to also understand. what voice is there? Is it mom? Is it dad? Is it my teacher? Is it my the priest? Whose voice is it, right? And
Exactly.
so once you identify what voice is the one telling you, maybe it's multiple telling you the same thing,
Yeah, yeah,
um, then you can start releasing those people and their beliefs, what that this belongs to you.
yeah.
Let's cut the cord, energetic, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Deal with your
Yeah.
part. I take up a responsibility of mine. I release it and let it go and move on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think and that's a really great point that oftentimes those voices are exactly people in our life that we felt, oh, in order to please them or help them or whatever, this is now becomes how I'm programmed to deal with all situations in that same way.
Yeah.
But I also want to say for those who are listening, we sometimes we're never able to know, was it, a parent, was it a teacher, was it a friend? And that's okay too. If you can, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you can't, just acknowledging there is a voice that is telling me X, Y, or Z, and I am no longer listening to that voice.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to acknowledge like, hey, I know you're trying to help me out, but I'm choosing differently. Then that helps too. It's not
No.
necessary. It's helpful, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like what you said because, yes, very helpful to understand whose voice is it. But when we don't always use that collective consciousness or
Exactly. Yeah.
anything, right?
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least that recognizing that is there and that is no longer serving you, then
Exactly.
that's it. Now I, in my higher consciousness, I'm going to take my decision, my belief. It's not
Yeah.
something that came from the ether. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good. What else do you want to tell our listeners or share with them that that could help them to get inspired into going to this organization of their business, their practice, their life?
I think there are so many tools out there, productivity hacks, and I'm the first one to watch those videos and, read the new book or pick out the new cute planner or make the colorful spreadsheet. I love systems. I love that. But sometimes, like you said, we can get tangled up in the
Mm-hmm.
tool and then we wonder why it's getting in our way. Why isn't it working? And
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we are so caught up in the details that we sort of forget what is the larger vision, right? What is it that we are wanting? And it doesn't mean that the vision has to be large, like I'm going to save the world large, right? It just can mean um, I it can be as simple as I want to prepare two home cooked meals, healthy home cooked
Mm-hmm.
meals this week, but we get so caught up in the detail of looking over hundreds and hundreds of recipes, finding the perfect, most
Yes.
healthy thing that we like to make. And then weeks
Mm-hmm.
and weeks and weeks can go by without
And you don't do it.
creating those meals, right? So being able to
Yes.
to say, um, and this came up recently, we are wanting to find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be the solution,
Oh, that's brilliant. I
right?
like that.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was really like, oh, I could see in the past that I was just focused on trying to
Yeah.
find the solution
The
instead
solution.
of, you know what, all of these are probably okay. Let's try one of them.
Yes, yes. So we get drowned in the details, and because
Yes.
we're just kicking as a drowned person, we don't get anywhere,
That's
right?
exactly right. Right.
And you can try things, be flexible, mess up. It doesn't matter. You can
Yeah,
do it again and do it again, and eventually you'll have a fantastic recipe that you were looking for, but you
exactly.
already started to eat cleaner because you,
That's exactly right.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then you end up
And
even with a bigger recipe list.
exactly, exactly. And I will also say for those, those listening, when we hear things like, it's okay to mess up or
Mm.
just try anything, just like when I would hear the slogan, the famous slogan, just do it, I'd
Yeah.
be like, what do you mean just do it? I have to plan, prepare, I have to do this. I can't just do it. What if it doesn't work? What like there was
Yeah.
so much to it.
Hmm.
So we can reframe that. Ultimately, it does mean, and like the name of your podcast, right? Let go and let's go.
Hmm.
But for us to let go, sometimes it might mean, okay, does being playful with it to play around, maybe that feels better than just do it. Or does it,
Yes.
or experiment? That was something
Uh-huh.
that for my engineering brain, it's like, oh, we're experimenting. I can
Mm.
experiment.
Yes.
It's the same thing, but whatever we have to tell our brains to
Yes.
approach it differently, that's important too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That I
being
like that. I like that
mhm,
the concept of understanding what is your language that you can
exactly. Yeah,
help yourself to step up without that fear and that constriction and that
exactly.
rigidity. So whatever works,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah. Ah,
Exactly.
wow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it
Wow.
helps us. And I think that's a way um to let go so that you can move forward, on your path and even if
Mhm.
it's just I think I heard on another of your episodes, it's like even just taking the next step. You may not need to
Mhm.
know what the big step is or what
Yes.
the final destination is, but just taking
Mhm.
the next step. And I love baby steps. I'm all about
Tippy toe.
just tippy toe, exactly, because again, just do it. Like that doesn't sound fun to me.
Yes.
And the clients that I most resonate with are those who really need or benefit from those baby steps because
Mhm.
it's it they pride themselves on doing things well and doing things perfectly and,
Mhm.
delivering a certain outcome. But if it is causing overwhelm and they're feeling that pressure, then,
Mhm.
it may be time to do something
Yeah, well,
differently.
the fun is gone for one thing,
For
right?
sure. For
And
sure.
then we're supposed to be in journeys that are, well, sometimes they're painful, but that's the whole point. Get
Yes,
out of the pain so that it
exactly.
can start being fun
Exactly. Right.
and uh, and letting go of this. I'm not good enough. I need to be doing better. I have to be perfect, and all this monkey chatter that is not
Yeah,
letting
yeah,
us to clear our minds to actually see what is the next step, the baby step, the tippy toe step. It doesn't matter what big the step or the leap, but they have the clarity to know if it's going forward or a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. We have to
exactly.
pivot. We have to be
Exactly.
aware of do we need to pivot or not.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And as we sort of, as I help my clients sort of reduce that chatter,
Mm-hmm.
then they're able to kind of hear their intuitive voices, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
because it's quieter now, so they can hear their inner voice, their true self, as you said, their higher self, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to like, oh, I know what to do, or
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've got this,
Yeah.
I've got this. So being able to trust ourselves a
Definitely.
little bit more. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Lillian. It's been a very pleasant conversation, and I hope we inspire these women to have that balance that they need in their lives in respect of their organizing their daily activities and projects and everything else in their lives. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing this, and thank you for including me
Oh,
as a guest. Yeah.
oh, of course, you're a dear friend, and I'm going to put your links in the description if somebody wants to reach is welcome.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, and well, anything final words?
Yeah, that one of my recent favorite quotes is that we can be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time,
Mm,
right? So that also those of us who are wanting to achieve, but even if we can't get ourselves there, we always feel we need to be working, but
mhm,
and we can do that, and it's great to do things that challenge us and improve and get us closer to what we want our lives or businesses to look like.
mhm.
But we are masterpieces just by being on this earth, right?
Yes, indeed.
That's
Yes,
it. So all the rest is like icing on the cake. You still are a yummy cake. The rest
exactly.
is the rest is
Well,
extra.
actually, that's the whole point to understand and make conscious that we are already there. We're already perfect. We don't need to do anything, only to remember that we're already worthy,
Exactly.
perfect, and everything.
Exactly.
Um, but but to understand that, we do have to let go of a few things and
Absolutely. Yeah.
put
Yeah.
into action a few others, and then we'll get it. Eventually, we'll get that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Lillian. It was a
It,
pleasure having you.
it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Let Go and Let's Go. I really hope that we inspire you into moving 1 degree closer towards your vision. You deserve to live an inspired life. If you resonated with anything we said, or you'd like to learn more about how I can help you to get into alignment with your soul's purpose, please reach out. Love to hear from you. Send me an email, info@lilianachamberlain.com, or I will be leaving a link in the description. And please remember to subscribe to the channel so you can join me in the next episode. Meanwhile, remember, keep shining because your light is only meant to get brighter.